to the November 10th episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans and veteran families out there. Another week, y'all. Another week. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Fish. Hope you guys are doing well this morning. Well. Yeah, it's been a pretty interesting week around here. Of course, you guys know about the stuff that happened Halloween evening with the family. What do they say? When it rains, it pours. Took my very last injection Tuesday morning after we'd all had a chance to talk Monday morning. Took my last injection that I had in my box. It comes in a box of 4, for a month. So I called them Tuesday to get it renewed for this week, and lo and behold, without notifying me, my state insurance was up for renewal on the 31st. Halloween is very quickly not becoming my favorite holiday. It was supposed to be renewed by the 31st, and the lady says, well, we sent something out in the mail. And I said, never got nothing. She goes, well, it was sent out. Is there anything else I can help you with? So now we got to go through all the rigmarole that the wife went through back in 2016 when I went into diabetic shock and they rushed me to the hospital and I flatlined and they brought me back and the hospital helped her get my Medicaid set up and all my medicine, for the blood clot, my blood thinner, the stuff for my blood pressure, the stuff for the diabetes, is now all on hold. Until they have a chance to go through the file and get everything squared away. So not only have they completely ruined Halloween for me, but they've because of the mortgage coming out, 3 days early, 3 days before the money was there, it threw us into, now it's over $1,000 deficit in the bank account. And it just keeps adding up as new bills try to go in there because we can't put any money in the bank or it's completely gone. So, good morning, John. Good morning, Squatch. Good to see you guys. But, now I don't have any of the medicine and stuff. So, yeah, it's the end of October, beginning of November has, what is the correct phrasing for this? Suck balls, I think would be the correct phrasing for this. Any positive news? I've worked a lot of hours this week. We woke up. That's a positive one. They've had me on. Hey, Lady C, good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well this morning. We woke up. I mean, that's always positive. When you start your day alive and kicking. I don't know. But the only bad thing is, like I said, I've worked a lot of hours this week. We had two guys. We had two guys that needed off this week. One for vacation he had planned months ago for his wife's birthday, and another one because for some reason the courts fumble farted around with his visitation with his kids, and he has to pick his kids up on Thursday now because of his ex's work schedule and keep them through Sunday. So, single parent. Um, but yeah, um, it's been interesting. Let's see here. Good to see you too. I'm alive. I count that as a win. Definitely a win. Had a few deer run across or run out in front of me Wednesday. When I hit the brakes on the truck, it blew the line. I missed a deer, but now gore no ride. No, um, no, now got no ride. What do you do? At least you didn't total your ride by whacking into a deer. The brake line seems to be under all the electronics. Jeez, who criminy. Go figure. I'm trying to survive this random cold front here in Texas. What is it about Texas? When I was in Texas, we never seen a winter below 63, 64 degrees. Since I have come back up north, I have heard of snow in Texas. I have heard of cold temperatures in Texas. I have heard of everything. I mean, I've heard of snow that completely froze the city. Nobody was out moving around that didn't have brains. And I don't understand. I don't I don't understand. I don't know what happened to Texas. Oh, but other than that, alive and kicking. I'm hoping we can get the insurance thing squared away before my doctor's appointment, that or my eye doctor appointment that is coming up this month. I'm hoping, I'm hoping that the state's not like they normally are and moving so slow they're almost in reverse. Morning, Shadow Movie. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. When I woke up this morning, it was 42 degrees. It was 83 degrees a couple of days ago. Yeah, see, we're not supposed to be above 50 today. Um, we've had uh, we've had a couple of days in the last week and a half. We've woke up. It was in the 20s. So I mean, winter's coming fast. Winter's coming fast. But yeah, I'm really kind of hoping that I'm hoping and praying that we can get the insurance thing. Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you, love. That we can get that insurance thing squared away before my doctor's appointment later this month. Because as quickly as this eye is going now, I'm really scared that it's going to start impacting my videos. It's going to start impacting my job. It's going to start impacting a lot of things. It's getting. I mean, this eye's 85% gone anyway, and I was lucky to get in to see the eye doctor this soon. The next furthest out appointment was because I try to do my appointments on the wife's days off, so I have a way to get there and back. Um, but the next nearest out appointment was the end of January. So I'm really, really, really hoping that we can get this insurance thing squared away so I can get there and figure out what we're going to do about my eyes, what kind of surgery they want to do, um, stuff like that. So, at least keep my eyes on your thoughts a little bit. I'm doing good with the look up cost plus drugs. What is cost plus drugs? Never heard of that before. Yeah, I came home from work last night. I had to close 3 days this week, which I'm not a closer, I'm an opener. But because the guys got to do the YouTube thing, hurry back. Um, I had to close, and when I open, I have the monitor up above me, and um, I can read the green text on a black screen. But when I'm a closer, all I have are the tickets that the printer prints out to try to do the pizza orders and stuff. And I can't read the gray print on the white piece of paper because it's like that big. Um, and I got very frustrated last night, and I was my coworker. God bless his soul. He's a very, very positive, very motivational person. He came from Guyana, Africa, just not 15 years ago, and he's always listening to motivational speeches and positive things, and he was trying to chat with me last night. And I came home and I done some soul searching, and it's like I'm so frustrated with how everything just falls on you all at once, and you're already weak because of your health or because of your finances or because of whatever, and then all this stuff smashes down on you and it feels like it's crushing you. And it's like, if I would have made I keep telling myself if I would have made different life choices when I was younger, I may be better off now where I could financially handle these things that are crushing down on me. Because, I mean, face it, if you think about it, the mortgage thing, the not being able to pay for prescriptions or pay for a medical procedure or something, it all falls down to finances. And I keep telling myself if I would have done things different, what could I have done different? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, and you guys are both right. It too shall pass. And the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I had a friend, God rest his soul, he's gone now. But I had a friend several years ago that said if ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk. Kind of falls into that whole hindsight is 2020 thing. But that's something that my friend used to say all the time. If ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk. And he's right, or he was right. but it's amazing how when you have those people in your life that look at things from a completely different standpoint, you know, regardless of what happens in your life, you always seem to remember um, the little things like that, you know. Yeah, just so. How's y'all's week been? You know, it's been since Monday since we all had a chance to sit down and talk. Of course, you see, I changed the background a little bit, got away from the October thing, pulled down my skeletons and my Walking Dead backdrop with my zombies on it and everything, and you know, kind of returning to the roots thing a little bit with, you know, the history thing. You know, Tony, don't ever let it be said that I don't listen. I mean, if you guys will look at the videos since the 35 days of Halloween ended, they've been they've been all history based. A few of them even dealing with the Wild West. Yep, zombies just hanging around, man. What's up, dog? Good to see you, man. I got to fix the truck, then put a new rear end in the Suburban. That is one thing I am thankful for, is the fact that we still have her reliable Chevy that we're driving around, or that she's driving around. Um, if they don't repossess it when they go to take the car payment out, and the bank's in the negative, or the insurance that she has to cover full coverage. Anyway, we stay away from the negative. Stay away from the negative. So, like I said, how the hell are you? How you been? How's your week been? And you know, one of the other things that you know really kind of sticks out with me is even with all the negative stuff that's happened in the last week and a half, I'm still looking forward to the holidays. You know, I'm not really looking forward to you know, Thanksgiving now, because well, I won't see my family. My mom and dad are coming to my sister's. They're making that 10-hour trip to come to my sister's next weekend for our Thanksgiving, because my wife can't get any of the 9 days around Thanksgiving itself off. So we always do our family Thanksgiving the weekend before Thanksgiving. And, you know, not only do we not have the money to make that 6 hour round trip and, you know, buy the stuff for Thanksgiving, um, but she can't get time off work. She went to put in to get the weekend off, and so many people had already requested it off that that weekend before wasn't available anymore. So, you know, I'll miss out on seeing my mom and dad at all this year, seeing my son, my daughter-in-law, my grandkids. Um, of course, you know, we'll scrape together some kind of a little Thanksgiving something here. Um, we always keep green beans in the pantry. We always keep like the little fried onions. We always keep soup. You know, I think we have some chicken in the freezer. So we'll have our own little something here at the house. But I don't know. Yeah, see, we wanted to reschedule, but there's not really a way to reschedule because my sister's husband uh, drives a semi for another company. He's only got certain days off for the holidays and through the week. Um, my sister works in aged healthcare. She only has certain days off. So rescheduling, especially when we have to schedule our family Thanksgiving um, several months ahead of time. So what do you mean you need better thumbnails? You got good thumbnails. You do very good on your thumbnails. But like I said, I'm still looking forward to the holidays. I'm looking forward to um, Christmas coming up and New Year's, and for some reason, um, well, I don't know, because it brings out the best in people. That's what it is. That's why I look forward to it. It brings out the best in people, except when they're shopping. Then maybe it's not the best. There's some psychotic people out there. It's clever, sure, but I don't generally make them. I find and change them somehow. That's what I do. I mean, I'll somehow, or I'll find a certain picture. I'll throw a green screen clip of myself in there, or I'll throw a little. I'll find a picture of somebody or something, and I'll make a green screen image out of it, and I'll lay it over a photograph or a painting or something like that, and blend, and then I put the text on, and you know, unless you have exuberant amounts of money and can pay somebody to do thumbnails or intros or whatever for you. I've never heard anybody complain about doing what they can do the best they can do it. And I find your thumbnails very interesting, very attention getting. So good job, sir. Admittedly, no one has done a Cthulhu Sasquatch. Um, Now, what would a Cthulhu Sasquatch be? Would that be a giant Sasquatch walking down a dark lane in a forest with these tentacles and stuff coming off its head and everything? I mean, what would a Cthulhu Squatch be? I'm meeting hairy nuts around that damn heart, man, that they put in the chat now is right directly over here. I'll let you see it. It's the funniest damn thing. Oh, you can't see it here. Hold on. If you look, that heart sits right over what Squatch said. Um, hairy, tentacled, faced, ancient menace. We know it's in our way too. Okay, I didn't know if it was just my screen or if you guys had it too. I can honestly tell you though that though it is nice to show that love can be a pain. It really honestly can. Okay, I'm meeting Harry Nuts around the 20th. A hairy, tentacled faced ancient menace. Sounds fun. It would be less in the way in the middle of the screen. Well, if they'd actually stick it down over the that lower right hand corner where your channel icon or whatever is on the screen, or actually put it down by the chat, down in the area you type in right there, it would probably be better. But what are you supposed to do? Tried. See, that's the kind of stuff that my coworker would say. That's the kind of stuff that Sean would say, um, if we're talking. Like I said, he's a very motivational person. Coming from the country he came from, coming from the lifestyle he came from, I think he'd make a great motivational speaker. I mean, when he was growing up, it was constant civil wars. It was fighting. It was hunger. It was dehydration. And his family just finally said, "We've had enough." They sold everything. And his mom, dad, his sister, and him all came to America to start a brand new life. So, you know, he has become that very positive, very motivational person. And what Fish just said, it sounds like something that Sean would say. Um, Good morning, Ian. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I might steal that, Fish. I kind of like that. I might steal that. It's very well put. Hmm. Hope you guys have enjoyed the videos this week. Hopefully, hopefully, starting next week, when things start getting a little steadier at work, um, I'll have time to start showing up in some of my videos again. um, but I'm still trying to find the interesting stuff. Of course, we done yesterday's video was about Pontiac's war, blankets and silver boxes. This coming Sunday, I've got a really good video coming out, and uh, let's just say that it's a strange combination, but once you watch the video, it all kind of fits in together very tightly. Western expansion, Laura Ingalls Wilder, and indigenous relocation. So, like I said, three things that just really, it's not like a Reese's cup. These aren't two great things that go great together. These are three weird things that don't seem to fit together. but quite honestly, they do. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you. Happy Friday, sir. So yeah, hopefully next week I get back to I get back to my opens again at the restaurant or at the bar, and that's going to give me my early mornings to work on videos, and then I am back home in mid afternoon to work on things and edit them up. And now tomorrow night, um, and I don't know how we managed to arrange this, but it's a complete fluke. I don't know if you guys pay much attention to the community tab and the stuff that I post on there, but I was on Facebook the other day, and um, I was posting uh, one of the videos, and I seen something from Kyle Ferris, Ferris the Fam, looking for someone to go out and do an investigation with him. And of course, I just happened to put down, you know, if you guys are ever down here in my area, I got a couple places that I really want to go back to that I tried to do before, and they were so powerful. One in particular, it was so powerful, I no sooner walked on the property that I started feeling sick at my stomach. And by the time it was dark enough to start the investigation, I couldn't even stand up straight. And lo and behold, Kyle got back a hold of me, and he said, let's make it happen. So tomorrow night, we are going out and doing a very, very old, forgotten cemetery right here close by where I live at. I say it's forgotten because number one, it is not on any of the maps. There is no information online about this cemetery, but we do know that there are War of 1812 burials there. When this cemetery was started, I have no clue because there's no information on it. So we'll have to see. Drew, did you catch those first two episodes of Bass Reeves? Um, no, the last time I seen anything advertised on it, it hadn't started yet. The wife told me last night that the show had started. So, when I seen the commercial on it, I give her a little bit of the history of Bass Reeves. And now she's very interested in watching it with me. So she had no clue that there was a a famous persona from Wild West history that was African American. So she's very interested in watching it now because this is something she never learned about. But yeah, that's something that we're going to do. First chance we get is sit down and watch the first couple episodes so she can learn a little bit about it. Um, Let me see here. I was invited to join a stream team. I asked about contracts, creative control, as well as future earnings. Homie refused to respond and accused me of ghosting him. Funny little people. That's sad. Good morning, Ty. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. There were more than just Reeves. Um, let's see. There's some of the old guard here still. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's always folks around. And yeah, you're right, Tony. There were more than just Reeves, but he was the one that came up in conversation because of the commercial. So, you know, she won't necessarily listen to me and the things I have to say, but by God, she don't mind watching a TV show about something. Watch the season finale of Loki. They ended his story really well. Cool, cool. Well, when Disney's prices went up and we lost Disney Channel, um, we lost out on all the Marvel stuff, all the Star Wars stuff. Um, we've still not seen any of the newest season of The Mandalorian. Um, None of that. So, yeah, of course I'm going to miss out on Loki. We saw like half the first season. Did you figure out stop motion? I can supply a stable of voice actors. There you go. Showboxmovies.net has all of it for free. Been telling you. And see, we don't have a way to watch an online, and I've not seen Showbox movies on any of our streaming services. Um, Never. Don't wait. The time will never be just right. It's about to be a fight between Iowa and Missouri. Um, should I ask? They're gonna be one of those bushwhacking wars, or how's that? It's an internet channel, not streaming service. Well, see, we have no way to watch that anyway. This this teeny tiny little, wow, how big is this thing? Um, 12 inches maybe, with a 10-inch screen, is the only thing that we have to watch anything on, and that's why I have a 36-inch monitor up here behind me, because if I was relying on this thing, I wouldn't be able to read. I can't see print that small. That's why you always see me looking over here, because I'm looking up on the 36-inch monitor, um, to be able to see what's on the 12-inch monitor. Um, Sailing the Savage Seas, Eye Patch, and a Parrot. No time for it mostly nowadays. Watch about anything on YouTube. Matter of fact, they have the Marvels movie already, and it drops in theaters today. Really? And we were wanting to see that because, way back when it first started, I was watching um, Miss Marvel, and I liked the whole storyline behind it. But now that they brought out the Marvels movie, um, that's got Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel and Lady Rambo and um, I don't remember the other girl's name. It looks really interesting, so I'm kind of looking forward to being able to check it out. So looking for very bored animator. Miss Marvel is the only reason I'm watching it. Yeah, I liked her. I liked her storyline, how she came into her abilities, and how she always loved Captain Marvel and stuff like that. And that's what really drew me into that. Opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work. Very good. Very well put. Did you see the remade Shogun? Hmm. Nope. Didn't even know they remade Shogun. That was a very good movie back in the day. I really enjoyed it. She's a horrible actress. I've seen more acting in a puppet show. I'm not sure if it's appropriate on here. Okay. Just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. You're right. You're right. It can. Gurgle, 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 gurgle. I'm talking about the young girl, Kamala Khan, not Brie Larson. Well, see, I've watched Brie Larson's YouTube channel, um, and I'm here to tell you that she has done a lot of um, working out and yoga videos and stuff like that. So I'm here to tell you that the booty you see on Captain Marvel is the same booty that she carries around with her in real life. As for Kamala Khan, I've seen pictures of her in normal everyday clothes, and the booty looks about the same. So I don't know. I'm not an official government booty inspector, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not a card holder in, like, BIA, Booty Inspectors of America. But I'm thinking they're average, normal, natural booties. I love some positive. It's better than a negative bloodbath. Um, wow. A bloodbath. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about a negative bloodbath. I don't think there is such a thing as a positive bloodbath. I think all bloodbaths are negative to someone. But I mean, that's just my personal feelings on a bloodbath. I don't. I mean, even you know, yeah. What they call her, the Elizabeth Bathory. You know, she thought a bloodbath kept her young. Of course, it was very negative for the girls that she killed to fill her tub, but they were positive for her. I don't care. I like the actress who plays Kamala. Has nothing to do with any of that. Her show was great, funny. It was. It was. Yes, exactly, exactly, dog. You know, a vampire. They sneak in your room at night. They bite into you. It's very positive for them. It's very negative for the people that they're chewing on, but it's very positive for them. I've never heard of a completely negative bloodbath. Trolls come after weakness like sharks with blood in the water. Tears are jet fuel for trolling. Arnold confirmed we are getting King Conan. That'd be cool. I think the last Conan movie. It's been several years, but I think the last Conan movie ended with him sitting on the throne. So after all of these years, it'd be kind of nice um, to get a little bit of that history of King Conan. Why not go out on a limb? That's where the fruit is. Definitely, definitely true. Conan will be supplemented by a same-sex couple with a diverse family. A rebooted Red Sonja comes out next spring. Good morning, Skipper. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well up there in the frozen north. The ripest fruit is oftentimes on the ground. Sometimes. And sometimes you think you're biting into a nice ripe apple, and you look down and there's only half a worm there. Definitely, Skipper. Definitely. It is Veterans Day here in the states. Marine Corps birthday today. Semper Fi. Um, much love and respect to anyone who served in the Marine Corps and the rest of our armed forces. Red Sonia will be Indian with a dumb American sidekick. Caucasian only if Disney makes it. They're trying to get more diverse. Are you speaking from experience? Um, yes, yes. Except for the part about the half a worm thing. I bit into the apple and I found the hole, and right before I took the second bite, the worm started coming out of the hole. So yeah, kinda. Half of that was experience. Half of it was a possible future experience that I was able to avoid. I'll be heading out to Wetaskiwin, Alberta tomorrow to attend remembrance services with the Royal Canadian Legion. Very cool. That sounds like it could be a very interesting time. Okay, but if representing is to the point, why denigrate a particular group to it? Good morning, Jay. Hope you're doing well this morning, my friend. Just listening as I head out to the country today. And of course, Tony says, "Hey, Jay." Hey, Jay. The numismaticist is making up place names again. Good morning, Derek. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Today I remember my cousins who went down on the USS Arizona. And half of the first name is behind that heart. Here, hold on. Blurp. Okay. Bernie. Bernie and James. Yeah, definitely. definitely never forget. Sorry, I just had to type something in there to get Skipper's comment to raise up above that bloody damn heart. You know, with all the changes that the platforms made in the last few months, I'm really surprised that more people haven't complained about that heart being right in the middle of the chat. Around 7% of population is a veteran seems low. Yeah, you know, it really honestly does. Um, Seems very low, as a matter of fact. Let me see here. That just doesn't seem right. Let me kick over here real quick and do a real quick search on that. What percentage of American citizens are veterans? Veterans accounted. Wow, that's terrible. Veterans accounted for 6.2% of the nation's adult population in 2022, but some states were home to higher shares than others. New York and New Jersey saw the lowest shares of veterans at 3.71% and 3.85%, respectively, while in the top state, 1 in 10 adults had served. Wow. You would think with as many, you would think with as many service members as we do have between Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, that it would be a much higher number. I mean, that is like 23 million people, but still, you would think it would be higher than that. I'm good. Tomorrow is our Remembrance Day, so I'll be doing a video on it. Marks 48 years. The Edmund Fitzgerald went down in Lake Superior. Wow, it's been that long since you have been, or since Edmund Fitzgerald went down. What a tragedy. Lake Superior doesn't give up its dead. That is one scary lake. You want to see how scary it is, you ought to watch some of these videos where they take the submersibles down and look at some of the fish and stuff that live in that lake. I mean, you know, I have this fear about going out into the ocean because, you know, things are swimming underneath me that are big enough to eat me without even chewing. And then you see some of these videos from the Great Lakes, and there are there are fish right here on three sides of me that are big enough to eat me without even taking a bite. So, you know, uh, people wonder why I don't like to swim in lakes. I grew up swimming in a pond, but I don't like swimming in lakes. I should tell which side wins. Bloody auto correct since the Edmund Fitzgerald. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been that long. I mean, 48 years. Do, 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 do. Divers who put up the forms for the new bridge footings on the Illinois River came out, refused to return, saying they saw fish that could swallow them whole. I've heard about that, Tony. Yesterday, a friend of mine sent me a video of a train hauling thousands of Army Jeeps and trucks. Interesting. Kind of makes you wonder what the big mass production is all of a sudden. Speaking of close ties, some 30,000 Canadians served in the U.S. forces during Vietnam. Everyone changed handles now. A few people have. Um, yeah, Kerry is still around from time to time. He don't pop in much anymore. Um, Sometimes he does if he gets a chance to, but um, I mostly see him. He'll message me on like Instagram or something like that, which I'm very seldom ever on anymore. I don't even know why it's still on my bloody phone. To be honest with you, the Draftville race percentage. Army don't use Jeeps. If there were Jeeps, it was old. Huh. Yeah, that is true. They don't use the Jeeps anymore. So that's very weird that they had Jeeps and trucks. Hell, to be honest, the Humvee has kind of, or the Humvee, yeah, has kind of fallen into history a little bit. They've got some newer vehicles that just, yeah, they're they make the Humvee look like news. And of course, the one of the places that created or built the Humvees is only about 40 minutes away from here, um, right down in Mishawaka, Indiana. AM General. Um, they built a lot of Humvees over the last what 20 years, 25 years, something like that. Um, they AM General actually is where the the tumbler from the Batman movie, um, where the tumbler frame was designed. Basically, the tumbler frame for Batman's tumbler, the tank that they drove in the movies. Basically, all they done was took a Hummer frame and they moved the wheels from the outside of the frame to the inside of the frame, and they cut out that whole front section, and of course added to the frame to make it a little bit bigger. But the subframe for the tumbler was built at AM General in Mishawaka, Indiana. The Army may not use Jeeps anymore, but boy, I'd love to get a hold of a 53 pattern SMP, personal use. I loved driving them when I was in the Army. Brand new paint on them. The whole train was nothing but military vehicles. Auto manufacturers made all the military vehicles, probably why Jeep was used. If I could have saved the video, I'd send it to you, Drew, and you could make the conclusion. Well, there is two wars going on, so yeah, exactly. And what was it? 2 or 3 days ago, I seen something on one of my little news briefs that I watch on here, of I remember what it was. The old elderly Jewish man that was sadly lost his life in California when he was pushed backwards and hit his head on the sidewalk. They were showing paramedics treating him and stuff, and he passed. And of course, the president got involved and said, we have to stop this hostility now. There are um, there are children dying. There are civilians dying. So are you aware that the bulk of the jeeps made during World War II into the Russians' point of entry was Archangel? They just send them cash. Russia got a load of deuce and a half. Yep, they sure did. Amazing how many terrorists live in the United States. Yep. Well, and that's why the phrase domestic terrorist was invented because they're they're right here under people's noses, and you just never know. Um, well, the changes came because of the IEDs. They needed vehicles which could survive explosions, and it depending upon the size of the IED. Um, an ex-girlfriend of mine from several years ago used to be in the Air Force, and they would take the Humvees out on training exercises. And their idea of a training exercise was because of the wide wheelbase. These things were supposed to they were supposed to be more secure, so they would drive these things up on sand dunes and roll them over back onto their wheels. They had that much thinner top, so as they rolled, they'd roll on that thinner top, and the momentum was supposed to supposedly roll them right back over on their wheels again. And they put in that extra plate armor underneath them and stuff like that, which is why they suck for when you buy a retired military Hummer. They only get about 7 miles to the gallon because they weigh 2,000 pounds more than what they weighed when they came off the assembly line. So, yeah, it's like driving three full-size pickups put together. Um, but I've seen many a video of a Humvee hitting an IED, and it just flips the whole thing over, and it because of that extra armor and stuff on them. And then I've seen them hit an IED and just completely disintegrate. So Kaczynski one died a while back. I accredited the old deuce and a half to building up my arms before I went to power steering VMLVWs. It's really funny that deuce and a half managed to roll their way. See what I did there? They managed to roll their way into our conversation. I've got a very, very good friend down in Marion, Indiana, that does Vietnam reenacting, and he owns a deuce and a half. And half the year, it's his everyday driving car. He's also in the Air Force Reserves, or was in the Air Force Reserves at Grissom Air Force Base in Peru, Indiana. And he would drive it out to the base all the time to go to work. 7 miles per gallon isn't an issue if you have a blank check. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Nick. Howdy, howdy. Hope you're doing well this morning, sir. But yeah, Steve, the one that owns the Deuce, was or Deuce and a Half, what was the very first Vietnam reenactor I ever met, and we used to ride around in that Deuce and a Half all the time. It was so much fun. As a matter of fact, one of my best memories of him was his Vietnam group would always do the adopt a family thing at Christmas time, and they would load everything. He'd put the cover on the bed of that thing and just have boxes and boxes and boxes of Christmas presents and food and stuff like that. They'd slide up in the back and they'd roll up to these houses, and the guys would just start pulling these boxes out, and the kids were more we won't say more. They were just as into seeing this big army truck pull up in front of their house, and these guys get out in these military uniforms and start pulling this stuff out, as they were with the stuff they were pulling out. It was really fascinating. Um, there are a few Deuce and a Halves around the area, although I haven't seen one being driven in a few years. I've actually seen a couple of them around. I seen one here just a few months ago that somebody had painted yellow. Yeah, this wasn't the khaki tan or the olive drab green. This thing was painted yellow, like yellow, like I have nothing here as yellow as this thing was. It was banana yellow. It was lemon yellow. It was canary yellow. Doesn't Mark do Vietnam? Yes, Mark does do Vietnam reenactments. Good morning, Gunny. Good to see you, man. Military school bus. It'd be kind of cool. I think a lot more kids would be eager to not miss the bus if they rolled up to the school in a big old Deuce and a Half. Oh, my daughter would. A bunch of them in Iraq sitting in the desert. Just change the air filter. Well, we've left so much equipment behind in the different areas that we fought in. Um, I don't know if you guys remember, but my oldest son, one of his jobs that his unit had to do was to travel over to the Middle East, and they would actually travel with an armed unit, and go to these different places where they had fought in the past and pull any reusable technology off of our vehicles that were shot up or partially blown up or whatever the case may be. They just traveled around to these different locations and stripped all of the usable technology off of these vehicles and then moved on to the next location. So yeah, I mean, change an air filter, if they're still in good shape and that's the only problem, go for it. But it's really funny because of there are a lot of civilians and modern war reenactors and former veterans that would, if they would bring this stuff back to the country um, and sell it cheap. I mean, think about this. There was a fella here on YouTube just 3 years ago that went and bought a Humvee at an auction. Only paid $6,000 for the Humvee, and then drove it across 4 states to get it back home to start fixing it up. I remember seeing ads in the back of Popular Mechanics to buy new World War II Jeeps in the crate. Hmm. Good morning, Bud Files. Good to see you. Happy Friday. I hope I'm not derailing the chat. Had to ask, my phone died the other morning when you told me about someone who can make me an old style gun belt near or in Dallas, Texas. Can you repeat the website? Um, oh, that was Nick. He said he might have contacts in the Texas area. Of course, I was trying to drum up some business for Nick since he's such a good leather worker. Um, but there he is, right there, Rockin' K Leather or Nick Smotherman on Facebook, and he'll be able to help you with that one. Uh, Racky Bowl, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope all is well with your family and all is good at work. Yeah, it's hard times, but you know, the water level's only up to here. So as long as I can still do that, we're good. I'm not drowning yet. But thanks for asking. Hope all is well with you and yours. But yeah, like I said, it's been one of those weeks here with work and stuff like that. Hoping starting on Monday, things are going to kind of stabilize a little bit. We've been doing a lot of excessive cleaning at the bar. Um, they were worried so much about, getting the place opened up, making a decent name for themselves, that a lot of the necessary cleaning and stuff, the hard cleaning, had kind of fell on the wayside. And, my boss, knowing what kind of an OCD freak I am, wanted me to head up scrubbing, 8, 10 feet up on the walls. A lot of the grease and stuff that gets in the air and blows around and circulates um, has stained a lot of the white um, siding that they use inside in the kitchen. And, I'm not afraid of heights, so I have no problem getting up there with a bucket of water or a bucket of degreaser and a Brillo pad and a whole bunch of rags in a bucket and going to work getting all that stuff clean. So, yep, we definitely bricked the grill. The only bad thing is this grill has been used multiple years and it has formed a nice seasoning on top of it. So when they all of a sudden decide they're going to start making it mandatory that every closing shift bricks the grill for like 2 hours first thing in the morning, everything wants to stick to the grill because they cut off all that seasoning. And I mean, this grill is beyond getting shiny again, but you're cutting off just enough of the seasoning that everything wants to stick. So yeah, I mean, you got to brick the grill, you got to smooth it back out, you got to make it nice. But ever since they've opened, our health inspector has um, been very cool. She comes in, she checks everything out, she gets something to eat. She's um, we've not failed an inspection ever, but our points have gone up since I started. So I don't think bricking the grill. I think that bricking the grill is the most foul smelling thing I ever encountered. Yeah, I've never noticed it. But then again, my sniffer quit working years ago, so I think all appliances should be in wheels and slanted floors leading into a floor drain. Roll out everything, then hose son of a gun down the drain. Yeah, I kind of want to agree with that. Um, I think there should be, and we do actually have two floor drains in the kitchen. But that really helps when it comes to degreasing the floor and mopping, um, degreasing the walls, everything. Next week, I'm actually going to start working on the pizza oven. Um, of course, they couldn't afford with everything that they did put into the restaurant. They couldn't afford a brand new four burner pizza oven. We actually have a double decker pizza oven, and this one here's an older model, but it works wonderfully. So I seem to be the only one that works there that has elbow grease. Um, so that's going to be my job starting this week is polishing and shining up the pizza oven. So yeah, we'll see how long that stays like that. If you guys will excuse me, I'm going to make a run to the bathroom real quick. So I would love it if it was wood fired. I have worked on a wood fired grill. I have worked on a rotating grill. The rotating grill was actually my favorite. It was a rotating wood fired grill, and it had four round stone shelves, and each round shelf would hold four large pizzas. So you could fit um, 16 pizzas in that oven, or 16 larges. And I love that thing because you open that big door up, and that heat would just hit you. Uh, but you'd slide them pizzas in there somewhere on one of those shelves, and you know, booyah! It was done in 10 minutes. So 12 minutes, for something that's really stacked. But Yeah, that was amazing. And I wish ours was a wood fire grill, but sadly it's not. Unfortunately, elbow grease is a rare as common sense these days. Yeah, yeah. Now, I was really impressed with my kitchen manager last week. Um, we pulled everything out away from the wall, and he sat there with a scraper and cleaners and Brillo pads, and was cleaning the backs of the deep fryers and the back of the grill, and stuff like that. So, now that's going to be a regular part of closing, is pulling everything out, wiping it down, using degreaser on it, keeping everything nice and shiny. Things are finally looking new. So, because we have this huge window, and the way the kitchen's set up is when you're standing directly in front of the window looking into the kitchen, you've got one of our big prep tables where we do our giant pretzels and stuff. And then right behind that is the main make station. And then down at the very end is the pizza station. And, of course, you've got the deep fryers, the grill, and the pizza oven that are all on the very back wall. So people can watch the whole show. So they see the guys making the regular food. And then down here is me at the end hand tossing the pizza dough and stuff like that. And people love the show. I'm the only one there that hand tosses the dough, and believe me, I can get a little height. With 12-foot ceilings, I can get a little bit of height when I'm hand tossing a pizza dough. So most kids don't know what a blister is. Most kids these days can't even spell blister, let alone point one out in a lineup. It is weird sometimes chopping wood at a potbelly wood stove in the wintertime as a kid. Ask a kid what a wheelbarrow is. We can joke about this stuff till the cows come home. But quite honestly, and I swear this on a I met a child one time that didn't know what a chicken was. Didn't know what a chicken was. Her mom took her out into the country, and I was sitting in the passenger seat one time. We were going somewhere, and her mom had to tell her what a cow was because she was trying to figure out what kind of white and black dog that was out in the field. And then when she saw chickens, she thought they were some kind of a weird cat. Honest to God, I never laughed so hard in my life. But people who never been outside of a town before or outside of a city had no clue. And this kid was 5 years old, but had no clue what a cow nor a chicken was, let alone a wheelbarrow. When I was first married, I cut and sold firewood. I don't miss it. You know, I haven't had to cut firewood since, well, besides the reenacting thing, which, most of our wood comes out there cut anyway. All you got to do is just shave some fire starter off of it. But cutting wood, we used to do when I was in high school. And I do miss it because I had real nice, you know, defined back muscles, shoulder muscles, arm muscles, from sitting there using a maul or a sledge and a wedge or an axe to sit and chop wood for my best friend's family's wood burner. And I actually do miss it. Um, I agree. I don't literally miss it, I guess. I'm a little nostalgic and I miss doing stuff manually because our lives are too damn easy nowadays. True. Made money raking leaves and mowing grass as a kid. Under normal circumstances, fish, I would absolutely positively agree with that. Kids are too reliable on technology today and it's too readily accessible. So they would much rather sit and play a game or chat with their friends or watch videos or whatever. But the most amazing thing, when I was out raking the leaves the other day, getting them to the curb's edge for the city to vacuum up when they come through, the little boy next door, 7 years old, had been walking around for 2 weeks already with nothing but a rake, doing as many yards as he could do. And he kept coming over and offering to help me rake leaves. And I told him, I said, dude, I said, I've been watching you drag that rake around for over a week. I think you've earned, a little bit of rest. If you don't have a job to do, go play, go do something, go jump on your trampoline. I can't afford to pay you, and I'm not going to have you work for free. So even though he kept coming back over and he'd rake a little bit, and, you know, he'd run back over home, then he'd get bored, he'd come back over and rake a little bit. I had to tell him 2 or 3 times, I can't afford to pay you for this. So I do split wood, made money raking leaves, mowing grass. Yeah, you don't see kids running around mowing grass anymore. It's adults, the ones whose companies closed down during COVID, the ones that are disabled, whatever the case may be. These are the folks you see running around on lawnmowers these days, um, mowing yards, 20, $25. You know, I do split wood occasionally to do cooking over an open fire. Um, that's back when you made change for doing it. Maybe the kid needs money. I never ask him. I just, he's a hard worker. And at 7 years old, blew me away that he kept coming back and he'd rake a little bit and then he'd vanish again. He'd come back, he'd rake a little bit. But yet, before that, you drive around town, run to the store, whatever the case may be. He's out there busting his butt, raking leaves, and you get all your running done, go back the same direction, and there he is, still raking leaves. I shake my head constantly when I see children or teenagers sitting around the same area texting each other a couple of feet apart instead of using their mouths and talking. They've lost the ability. Yep. But I don't just blame kids. I don't just blame kids. I know a lot of adults who have succumbed to technology. My own wife. Instead of when she's in the kitchen and I'm here on the opposite end of the house in the studio and I'm doing something, instead of her walking in here to ask me a question, she'll message me. So I don't always say it's just kids. It's just teenagers. It's just kids. There's a lot of adults that have succumbed to technology. Teenagers, not Trojan. My phone voice typing has a mind of its own, I guess. See, I guess Ott's horny. It's horny. Yeah. Try and have a conversation in the line at the store about impossible. Yeah, really. Perhaps the phone meant Trojan ad. Trojan man. Technology always fails you, makes you sound like a damn fool. Made an earlier point that technology's double-edged sword. Yep. Yep. It definitely. Yeah. And they say that a computer is only as intelligent as the person who programmed it. If that's the case, then these things ain't very intelligent. Because I'm sorry, but yeah, these things are pretty damn ridiculous if you ask me. At times, my phone has a Tony mindset. Got to get in those Tony jabs in the morning, huh? Poor Tony. I forgot where I was going before we started this. Oh, I need to run to the bathroom real quick. Y'all just play nice with each other for a second. I'll be back. Mm. Mm. Tony is awesome. I never want to change him. Sad that everyone is codependent on phone, trying to remember a phone number. That is kind of true. I have to. I was doing something with some business the other day on the phone, and they asked me for a phone number, and I went through and I told them the phone number, and they had misunderstood one of the last two numbers, and I had to go through and say the whole phone number again to figure out what they had messed up. So yeah, it's hard. Computers are just a different engine, a difference engine, yes or no? Um, I seem to think so at times. Better him than me. Sorry. I don't miss the jabs. A Tony jab is like a 9 millimeter. Being weak ammo. Jab. No chat is a chat. Were you the butt of jabs here or something? Oh, I always jab it. I always jab it, Tyler. I always jab it, Tyler. He's like a little brother. So, I poke and jab all the time with him. Just not on the chat a lot. I don't want to show favoritism or anything. After before he moved to Missouri, um, when he lived in Iowa, he came over here, a couple times and spent a few days with the family and stuff. And I used to tease him all the time about um, needing to put on a couple pounds. Um, buy a pair of suspenders. Those jeans are to keep your butt warm, not your ankles. Um, Eat a hamburger. Grow an ass. Something. Something. Good morning, Templar. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday to you, my friend. Oh, yeah, yep, getting plowed off a horse. That was a great story. I wished you would have been around for that one. That story right there proved to me that different species of animals conspire with each other for our demise. Plain and simple. Because here's Tyler on at his old farm on horseback trying to catch a calf to give the calf an injection. And the calf is going all over the pasture. Tyler's on horseback. He's doing his best to keep up with this calf. And this calf runs directly under a tree, which, a calf is, 3 foot tall, running in front of the horse. Tyler on horseback is like 8 feet tall. Sadly enough, the limb is only 7 feet off the ground. So needless to say, that limb catches Tyler right across here. Tyler goes backwards off the horse, hits the ground, and as he's laying on the ground trying to get the air back in his lungs that this limb took out of them, the calf and the horse walk back over together and just look down at him laying there. I will never forget that story because I never laughed so hard in my life as he explained to me how this calf and this horse conspired to kick his ass in the way that they did. Is it just me, or do you get itchy foot when you see a kid with his pants hanging down around his butt? I want to correct it with a swift kick. I never want to inflict physical contact with anyone, regardless of whether their pants are around their waist or hanging halfway down their butt. I want to walk up to them and I want to just, come here, hug me, hug me. I'm sorry that your mom and dad are so poor. They can't afford a belt or a pair of suspenders or even a piece of rope to help you hold your pants off. You need something to help you hold your pants up. And I will gladly buy you a pair of suspenders or even a piece of rope to hold those things up. Just tell me what you need, son. Just tell me what you need. You should have got smaller. The Kaplan to keep his parts, not have him cut off. Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. You was going to nut the poor little guy. Well, you know my theory on that. I give it to Tony when he was talking about having his dog nutted. You know, they may act like they're fine with it, but after you do it to them, they conspire. They're constantly thinking, how can I pay this SOB back for taking my balls? It's kind of the old theory of the blind man getting his seeing eye dog fixed, and next thing you know, the guy gets hit by a bus crossing the street because his dog walked him right out in front of the bus. Made sure the dog was out of the way, but he was right in front of the driver that hit him. So, have a good day, Drew. Time for me to get going to delivery. Great weekend. Maybe we'll listen to it Monday. I know you'll probably talk with Jan this weekend sometime. Peace and love. You too, Jay. Take care of yourself, man. Be careful out there. I have full confidence in your driving skills. It's those other idiots on the road that I don't fully trust. And we actually, not my family personally, but one of my wife's coworkers' families just went through that this week. They had went out for dinner. Her fiance, the baby, and then their older daughter. And beautiful night. Had a great dinner. Was driving home, and some guy pulled right out in front of them. They hit him broadside. Um, the baby was fine. Mom, the force was so strong that it bruised her where her seatbelt was at. Her fiance was fine. The older daughter um, was spent a couple days in the hospital. So, you just got to be careful. Those other people out there, man. There you are, good man and a diplomat. I will take your advice and consider it. Have a great day, Jay. My male dog don't seem to have changed any personality-wise. I'd watch him, Tony. I guarantee when you're not looking, he's laying on the ground, just watching where you're going. He's waiting for the right time to take your nuts. I didn't see you because he's saying because didn't see you. Take care. Be safe. You didn't finish the end of that story. The calf got eaten for laughing at me. Moral of the story, I get the last laugh. It works. Ain't like I need them much these days. Yeah, well, whether you need them or not, there's a huge difference between them being medically removed and being mauled off by a pissed off dog. Well, on the way back in last night, a deer broadside of the car in front of me. Guy pulled over looking at the side to see what happened. So I saw the deer limping off. Oh man, Jesus criminy. Anyone can answer my question as well. I'm open to any answers. Appreciate it. What was that? What was that? I think that was Danny. I think that was Danny. Ah, there's a Danny talk. The dog knows which one of us is armed. Yeah, but you better bet if that dog had an opposable thumb, you'd be in trouble. It's much like we continuously tell our cat about trying to reach for the doorknob. If he had a thumb, we'd be in trouble. Every Catahoula I've ever seen is terribly gun shy. Wow. I've never heard that before. That's actually very interesting. I've never heard that before about Catahoulas. I knew a guy on a farm. He carried open Old West. The dogs and the cows knew not to push him around. Yeah, you're right. That is very odd for a hunting dog to be gun shy. My God, we're down to 10 minutes already. You know, they say time flies when you're having fun. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying an hour ago, tomorrow night, Kyle and Trina Ferris the fam, are going to be coming down here um, from their home northwest, and we're going to be going out and investigating a very, very old forgotten cemetery right here, not very far from the house. It's actually only about 15 miles away. Um, like I said, when I went out there 2 years ago, the second we got out of the car, I started feeling sick at my stomach. Before this, right before it was time to actually start filming, uh, the pain was so unbearable I couldn't even stand up straight, and we canceled that investigation. I've not been back to those grounds since, but I am going with reinforcements this time, and hopefully, I'll have that video out on Tuesday of that investigation. Old school friend almost gave me a blue tick coon dog recently. I should have took it. Best dog I ever owned was a blue tick. Um, the old man that lives over here across the street, gosh, 96 now, um, military veteran, born and raised down south. He had a blue tick here a couple years ago. And I love the dog's sense of security. He barked like a hound dog. I mean, like an old, in the movies, um, shabby, old, dark brown, boo, boo, all day, all night, whenever anyone would get either walk in the yard that he could see directly behind their property or walk down the street. That's all you ever heard. Boo, boo. Loved that dog. Old Booney couldn't handle him. Booney got rid of him. But every time I'd go over to visit Booney and we'd talk about guns, because he's a gun fanatic. Got a hell of a gun collection. Been a hunter his whole life. Um, we'd go over and talk about guns a lot. And that old dog, all he ever wanted was loved. He'd come up on the porch with me while we were talking, and all he'd want to do is lay on the porch swing with his head on my lap and just get his head rubbed. That's all he cared about. Never barked at anyone or anything as long as he was getting a little bit of attention. Need to get a hold of you sometime soon about a new video project. Okay. I'm always game for a new video project. I'll let everyone here know what dog is jonesing for a dog in my old age. I'll let everyone here know what dog I get jonesing for a dog in my old age. Don't get a Catahoula. I've actually, I had a chance to get a husky, um, not very long ago, blue-eyed husky, and I've actually looked. My favorite dog is a blue heeler. Um, I'd love to get one of those. They're very intelligent. They have to be. They're herding dogs, um, but I couldn't. A healer couldn't run here like he needs to run, so I've kind of stayed away from even bothering getting a dog. That and the fact that Ralph is almost 6 months old and he's never really been around a dog. I mean, the wife's mom brings her dog over on occasion. They play. Ralph likes Latte because Latte is smaller than Ralph. Um, we had a boxer puppy here a couple weeks ago. We were going to watch it for some friends who had to leave town to go get um, some surgical procedures done. We were going to watch the dog for them. Their son took time off work and came to stay at their place, so the dog didn't have to leave its element and go someplace new. So I didn't get a chance to have my boxer puppy, my 9-month-old boxer puppy, run around the house. Ralph didn't mind her that much. She was a lot bigger than he was and a lot more rambunctious than he's used to. But, you know, let me see here. They're very active, very smart, very strong. It's a ghost story about a serial killer from around here in the 1800s. That sounds interesting. If I get another dog, it'll be a blue tick, black and tan, or German Shepherd. See, I wouldn't mind having another German Shepherd. Shepherd was my very first dog. Mom and Dad got it just a few months before I was born, and she disappeared right before my 12th birthday. We had moved, and she vanished. So, which was really weird because she did not like to leave the yard, but it was a new yard. Or a plot hound, only if I'm able to hunt. Plots are pretty active. Hardest hunters I have ever ran with plot hounds. Johnny German Shepherd is on my short list. Shepherd is unlike as I favor hounds. I wouldn't mind a shepherd if I could find a shepherd to adopt or, rehome, especially much like Nipper was. Um, she came from um, two German Shepherd canines, canine police officers. And call it genetics, call it whatever you will. But she was very well behaved. She guarded us kids like she had been trained professionally, and she had never had a bit of training in her life. So, I would really prefer a good bloodline shepherd. Um, maybe not a retired police officer, but a good bloodline shepherd. A dog had me. A dog had me as a pet once. It wanted to have me fixed, so I ran away. Hounds are a bit more favorable towards strangers. I like large beagle or Malamute or husky. And see, I've had a Malamute timber wolf and I've had a husky prairie wolf, uh, but I've never had a full blood husky or Malamute. Um, but I'll tell you what, my hybrids were very, very good animals to have around. I had a Ciota Shepherd mix, best dog I ever owned until someone shot him. Mm. Bloodhound is another high energy as hell. I found out there's a lot of mysterious, unexplained happenings in this town throughout the years, from fires to murders. I like beagles, but they're yappy. I got friends that have got a beagle, and my God, especially if it hear a weird noise in the middle of the night, it didn't stop yapping for a half hour. Love and light. Take care. Templar, you do the same, my friend. Guys, it is that time. It is time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. Time for me to be like a tree and leave. Time for me to be like a bunch of birds and get the flock out of here. So I got to plan out my day, figure out what I'm going to do. Got to work again tonight. Got to work tomorrow. Got to work Sunday. I had one. No, I didn't have any days off this week. So you guys take care. Have a good day. Have a great weekend. And don't forget, we got that video coming out on Sunday. Westward expansion, Laura Ingalls Wilder, and indigenous removal. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night with that investigation. But until then, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. We'll catch y'all later. Have a good weekend, guys.